you know how well motivated you are? You're so well motivated that if Luke Skywalker's family were to buy you, you wouldn't explode at all.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Thank you for tuning into the Transmit podcast. This is an emergency episode
Why is it such an emergency?
because we've both seen The Mandalorian,
Yeah.
and we have to talk about it. There is no other choice. We have to bring this to your attention.
Episode 1 and 2.
Yeah, so we're behind, but it's safe because we can put this out, and everyone's seen it. Who's going to see it?
Have you seen episode 2 yet?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
It is really good. I think, so let's start off by saying I'm your host, Spike,
I'm Victor.
and Amanda, again, isn't here. I think we're going to go back to the two-person format for a while. She has a job now because she's an adult.
I have a job too, but
Yeah, but she has a different job than you'd have.
she's got other responsibilities.
Yeah.
And a job that doesn't line up with ours.
Yeah, but you know what? That's fine. And listen, I'll miss her, and I'll try to get her on the podcast as much as possible. But I hold no ill will towards that traitorous piece of shit.
It's open to anyone else who wants to be a part of it.
Oh yeah, listen, if you've got a smooth voice like us,
Oh, we should get Luciano on here.
oh yeah, he doesn't live here anymore, so it'd be hard to do. But listen, if you want to see if he can do a podcast with us, I am all down for that.
That'd be funny because he doesn't really talk or speak much.
He'd be like, yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah. Okay, this is some real inside baseball from our high school days, and that's not what we're here to talk about, is it? So
well, this is still he's part of Super Awesome Showdown.
He is,
so it's
and
like
listen,
Super Awesome Showdown-y stuff to talk about.
yeah, you know what, you're absolutely right, and he could also help me make sure that our audio doesn't sound like shit. So there's a lot of things he can do for us, you know?
This is really good mics, actually, man.
Right? Yeah, that's the one I picked up with tip money. Don't tell my job. Okay, so we watched The Mandalorian, and let me tell you, if you're into really good Star Wars, and I don't think, listen, Victor, you said it was because of maybe low expectations.
Yeah.
I didn't have low expectations. I actually thought it looked really good, and I still loved it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think maybe that helped you, and maybe I'm an easy sell for this style of Star Wars, where it's very Western, you know? Mm-hmm. They went back to the roots of it. It's a Western in space.
Yeah.
With, like, magic space monks.
They totally did. I didn't really like the Clone Wars, Star Wars Clone Wars.
No one liked those. Well, wait. The Clone Wars you mean like the 3 prequels or the cartoon?
The cartoon.
I was okay.
Did you watch that?
Yeah, I did. I was okay with that because I it introduced Ahsoka Tano, and she was better in Star Wars Rebels, even though she was kind of limited in that.
Yeah, they didn't really make it. The vibe was more like a Saturday morning kind of like serial, kind of like Saturday morning cartoon type feel.
Yeah,
was the feel of that show.
That's true. Yeah. Well, it was for
like,
kids, but it was still like it was canon, so it was kind of weird. If you're a big Star Wars fan, you have to know what's in that in order to know the canon.
Where like the voice, like explaining what happened last time, was like, "Well, the Imperial troopers." Blah, blah, blah.
You mean the movie? Like the movie had a lot of that.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, that was the movie that had that.
But I felt like the cartoon had that too.
I think it had a little bit of that, yes, but the movie like was pretty bad because you just had like combat fatigue because it was just one extended act. I saw that movie in theaters because I'm a Star Wars nerd, and it was just one continuous action scene with no real breaks.
Star Wars: The Clone Wars.
Well, the movie version, yes.
Yeah. I didn't see many episodes of that, but I do remember the one where they had some pretty good ideas, though. Some pretty good story ideas. Like where Anakin's on this planet, and like he's just shirtless the whole time, and he like paints his chest. He's like going all Rambo.
Oh, I think I remember that one. Yeah,
like he's trying to learn about this alien race. I'm not sure if he ends up killing them, but
he
probably does.
He wasn't super evil yet. Yeah. Later on, he'd be super evil. But no, we're talking about the Mandalorian again.
Well, I'm just trying to give people a basis for how I feel about Star Wars television shows.
No, that makes sense.
So, all right, I wasn't expecting much. I was expecting it to be actually like a kids show.
Yeah.
Because at Breakfast Burrito Thursday at my job, some guys were talking about like, yeah, that Mandalorian's coming out, and then like another guy was like, yeah, you guys getting a little excited over there about a kids show. But it was not a kids show.
It was absolutely. This was gritty. It was.
It is I feel like it's a family show.
It may be a family show, but it
is kind of gritty though.
Yes, it is. It's like you'd show it like later on in the evening on network television, possibly.
Yeah. How did that show? How did the first episode open?
Well, the first episode opened on that ice planet in that bar.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, the Mandalorian walks into a bar, and this sounds like a joke, and
Okay, I got
these
something to say about this.
Oh, okay, yeah. These ruffians are about to get this
blue
guy's glands. He has great glands. It got
really? They're after his glands.
They're after his glands.
It's very Rick and Morty-esque.
It is actually, yes, and it sounds kind of sexual and kind of hostile-ish, but it's still it's kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
And the Mandalorian walks in, and they do the typical bad guy thing, which is, hey, new guy, I'm going to assert dominance by saying you spilt this drink that you didn't spill.
Yeah.
And they get in his face. It's like the prototypical like self-defense school thing where they say, let's say you're at a bar and someone gets in your face. What do you do?
Yeah, and it may as well have had those like those old Western doors where they swing open and then swing shut. And stuff,
this is the future version where it's like a spiral thing.
Okay, I have a thing on that spiral thing, right?
Oh, they make
so he gets into a big bar fight.
Yes, he does. That's great. Right? So no, wait, let's work up to that. Okay. So yeah, they kind of get in his face and stand and loom over him and say, "You owe us a drink." They're trying to get him to, and they start talking about his armor and how it's really good, like Mandalorian steel. Mm-hmm. And the bartender like tries to placate him by sliding a drink to him. And then he gets into a bar fight when he smashes that drink into somebody's face.
Okay, I don't remember that part.
Oh, that was a great part.
But we hear the Mandalorian's voice in the scene, right? It's very Clint Eastwood.
It does. It has a kind of a gruff voice.
He talks like this with his teeth together, kind of.
It does.
Almost.
Yeah, he sounds... Yeah, it's got that kind of like radio quality to it. Like
just gotta talk with my teeth together.
Oh, Jesus. That's about right, actually.
I attacked the ears of the show listeners.
Okay. You're making sweet love to their voice.
Well, okay, but what I don't get is the electronic sphincter is set up.
Right.
That's the door. It's like basically an aperture.
It's a metal anus.
Or a film aperture.
Yeah.
Film. We could use the camera reference or the anus.
I like metal anus personally.
And that's how it's a pretty efficient door. Like I think that would be kind of a cool door because it's the snow and it has to be like airtight. Like,
you want an anus. You want that to be sorted out quick. Yeah, clenched.
So it clenches,
yep,
and then it opens to let people in, and then it clenches again to protect people from. But so this guy is leaving.
Well, he's not.
I think I already kind of.
You spoiled it, but no, it's really great.
He's trying to crawl out, and then like it closes, and it.
Well, no, it
is powerful enough
to cut a man in half. Because no, he doesn't. It doesn't just close like automatically on him because he runs away after he gets like into this pretty well choreographed fight. It looks like a real fight.
Yeah,
and he does that move I love where like the squid guy. He's from Mon Cala, I think. It's from one of the co-species of Mon Cala. Mm-hmm. And he slams that dude's head into the bar top just by pushing it, like something you could never do with a real person where you just put your hand on their head.
And slam them down.
You couldn't do that.
I feel like a real person would kind of be like, get off me.
You would resist that with your whole body.
Yeah.
But it looks good in the movie. So he's like running away, and the Mandalorian has like a grappling hook and shoots him and gets his leg and tugs him, and then he rolls over and shoots at him and catches him in his like laser-proof armor. Mm-hmm. And then then the Mandalorian pulls out his blaster and hits the door control, which always makes it close.
Oh, yeah. Instead of open wider?
Yeah, in Star Wars, if you shoot door controls, the door will close and lock forever, basically.
Not just like stop working?
Yeah, not just...
In the state that it's already in?
Nope. Close and lock. Yeah. This has been, from the first Star Wars movie, this has been lore.
I feel like there would be fail-safes on a door like that can
it doesn't
crush someone, like... That doesn't seem like... What if it like just malfunctioned when like someone was normally just walking in?
Just
they're
someone's
just standing
family
at the door.
member?
It's like, how some people take a long time to leave and stuff?
Yeah, they just stand at the door.
It's like, all right, I got to say one more thing. They start talking in the middle of the door and then it closes and just like cuts them in half vertically.
You're right. And that's the thing.
You think it would like be like an elevator where it like feels something and it goes, oh, there's someone there.
No. Yeah.
Like elevator doors don't just like slam shut. And
this is the outer room we're talking about. So no, this is going to cut your ass in half.
Yeah.
And that's kind of gruesome because they show like the door close and you hear a thump.
Yeah.
And it's like, what happened. And this is where you see like the Mandalorian's like true, mercenary nature where he just kind of looms over the blue guy they were about to like remove his glands from. And he puts this little puck, which you find out is a bounty puck, and it's like, oh, is that me? And that he's here for the blue guy.
Yeah, I kind of saw that one coming.
Yeah,
he wants the blue guy.
Well, yeah, once he spends more than a quarter second looking at him, like, something's up. So he takes him to his ship via speeder, but first he denies a droid-driven speeder.
Yeah,
a really nice one for one. Who's that?
Why does he deny the droid? He doesn't like technology. He's a boomer.
There's a fair amount of droid racism in. You remember again in the first in episode 4, A New Hope. Mm-hmm. They're already saying like, yeah, we don't serve droids here, so people don't like droids there.
Are droids sentient?
I think yes. If you listen to C-3PO, if you're supposed to like C-3PO and R2-D2, yes, they are in some way sentient.
Yeah, this was even before artificial technology or artificial intelligence. So they're all artificially intelligent.
They're just people, yeah.
Beings, droids.
Yeah,
fucking droids.
Fucking droids. So yeah, he says no to that and gets a shitty speeder driven by a comedian. Who's that? I forget his name.
Comedian. We have to look this guy up. Horatio Sands. Horatio Sands was the blue guy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's driven by Brian Posehn, which I noticed him immediately, and it kind of popped to me a little bit, but I still like that. This is sort of role that a comedian who was a nerd as a kid would love.
Yeah, so he was a Star Wars. He has a whole bit on Star Wars. Too.
Oh, I'll bet. So he drives him to the Mandalorian's like pre-Empire ship, and a giant like sea lion basically attacks him.
Yeah, the giant sea lion. I didn't read it as a sea lion.
When they show the concept art, it's supposed to look like a sea lion.
Yeah, maybe it changed.
Yeah, probably changed between concept art and final rendering.
Then I had another question when this giant sea lion comes.
Yeah.
Like if you go to Alaska or something, something that's go to a town in Alaska.
Yeah, go like Nome or something.
Is there still like wildlife? Like
everywhere.
Wildlife everywhere. Like, are you still in danger? Do you have to carry a gun because there's a bear gonna attack you?
In Canada, yeah, like moose will fucking murder you. Like a moose is like 8 feet tall and is violent.
Because I know here in like the city kind of area of San Diego, we've pretty much driven all beasts away.
As well we should. And yes, so I mean, if you go like on a hike, there are places where you want to hike with somebody because like a mountain lion around here won't attack two like toddlers, but it'll attack a grown adult alone.
Yeah, because what my reasoning is like in the future when there's galactic civilizations, I feel like the civilization portions on the cities on the planets would drive away more of the wildlife.
Yeah, but
in Star Wars, we're always met with giant monster wildlife.
Exactly. So that's how you can still have that. But and also it's like more like an Old West town again. It's not like it's not like Coruscant where the whole planet's just a city.
Yeah, they've driven away all the beasts by that point.
Yeah.
They should go to Coruscant. That'd be dope in this.
Oh yeah, I think that'll look beautiful because a lot of these shots are just beautiful. It is a well shot movie.
They like to show the big Western expanse views.
Oh yeah,
and it came from a little art history. Back when when we were colonizing America.
Yeah.
Europeans, they didn't have these huge views, these huge vistas in Europe, which this is what my art history teacher told me. So when they got like this American art, I forgot what it was called, but there's a style of American art.
Oh yeah, and I think we've all seen it.
Yeah, where it's just big, huge landscapes. It'll be like the desert or like redwoods or something.
It really represents like the American spirit of like going over that next hill.
Yeah, like the frontier. And then like the Europeans, when they saw this like all this undeveloped land, it was like it blew their minds. So they're like really into this American art. And that's what Westerns try to show. Like they like to show huge scenes. Like they'll back up away from Clint Eastwood and they'll show like the huge desert that he's in because they want to set up just how big this world that he's exploring is. And they did that in The Mandalorian as well. So they kept that kind of American film style making, that Western film, for like the Space Odyssey, right?
Right, and even when he goes into space, it's like beautifully shot with it. You know what the ship looks like, but they pull back and really show like this kind of tiny ship against like a planet eating up part of the screen and a beautiful star field lit beautifully. So it's in a lot of ways this is a well-made show.
It is.
But what I like is the next scene after he gets him off the planet and he's not even talking to this blue skin guy, like this fish dude. He's like running his mouth talking about Life Day and shit. And like I got to use your can, and they actually show a space toilet, which
I think that was the first time I've ever seen
a Star Wars toilet,
a Star Wars bathroom.
Right. Well, you've never seen a Star Trek bathroom either, so I mean,
But I feel like I've heard them talk about it before.
Yeah, they have. They really have.
And I feel like I've seen like Riker or Picard like in front of like a mirror, like a bathroom mirror before.
But that's like the antechamber for the bath. That's like if you have a bathroom that's separate from like the toilet and shower area. It's weird. So yeah, he's like running his mouth trying to like look around his ship, and then you see like all these like bounties frozen in carbonite, and you're like, oh, from Unit 1 you realize, oh, this guy's about to get frozen in carbonite.
Yeah.
And he's like, looks like I'm not gonna make Life Day. And then he's just there, like, I guess not.
Life Day. They made the Christmas special canon.
Oh God, that's the only downside to that episode. So what I love is, like, apparently, Boba Fett's trip to Cloud City and in freezing Han and Carbonite really changed the bounty hunting industry.
Yeah.
Because it went from this giant carbon freezing facility to something on his ship. And for bounty hunting. Like, it's the only use it could be.
He had a bunch of those bounty guys
He
in
did.
his ship. Like a deck of cards, almost.
It was great, right? And so you can tell, like, oh, this is just the standard for bounty hunting.
Yeah.
It's like anytime Quentin Tarantino makes a bounty hunting movie, they just shoot him.
Yeah. But, he takes them, I guess what he calls warm.
Yeah,
not cold.
Technically, what he means is alive, I guess. It's like you're frozen, but you're warm, quote unquote.
Yeah, you're alive.
So I really like how they kind of address, like, the Empire falling, because when he delivers it to a Lando-ish looking guy, the bounty hunting, like, the guild.
Yeah.
He tries to...
that was Carl Weathers, I think
so.
From Predator.
Yeah. But yeah, I really like it because they show, like, this attempted payment. And Carl Weathers, I think it's Carl Weathers, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Carl Weathers.
He puts money on the table, and it's like Imperial money. He's like, I don't take that shit.
Not Billy D.
Not Billy D. Williams. You're right. Listen, there's like 3 black people in Star Wars at this point, okay? Like, really, overall, like 4.
Young Lando.
Yep. Now Billy D. Williams and that one black dude who blew up in Return of the Jedi. There was an X-wing pilot.
Really?
Yeah, she said she's gonna blow, and then he died. So there's like 4 black people in all of Star Wars. But what I was gonna say is, he tries to pay him in Imperial credits, and he's like not having that shit.
Fuck Imperial credits.
So the Empire's gone, and so he gets like Mon Calamari money, which is named like krill or squid or something, which is I really like that. And
I was probably looking away at that point. I just kind of had it on.
See, you shouldn't. Yeah,
I shouldn't tell.
It's Star Wars. For the very least, at the first viewing of a Star Wars property, you need to give it proper reverence, okay? Good Lord. I thought I knew you, okay? But I obviously don't.
I saw when he meets the German guy, the German director.
Yeah. Well, this is after he goes. He goes to before he goes to the Mandalorian clan. His clan on that same planet. He meets the German, which is kind of apt since the Empire was supposed to be the Nazis.
Yeah.
It's a German dude with some ragged looking stormtroopers.
I wonder if they're trying to hold like a. What are they? Like a tribunal?
Well,
they're trying to like.
Oh yeah, definitely. They're going in front of the Space Hague.
Yeah. Didn't they get all the Nazis and try to like convict them or something?
Yes, unless they were scientists. Then they went to NASA.
Oh.
So.
Oh, so yeah.
Yeah, we had Nazis in NASA.
Yeah, so like the Death Star would be built by the Death Star can be built still.
You still can be built by
the Nazi
by the Imperial
Nazi
scientists. Well, they did make Starkiller Base later, remember? So, but yeah, so he meets with this guy. He's saying he's got a bounty for him. It's super like sketchy. Like usually they have like a puck with a hologram and a tracking thing, and it's supposed to be like a guild. Mm-hmm. But this guy's saying like, no, we can give you a bunch of money and this sweet Mandalorian steel, like a billet of that steel. It looks like what's known as as the steel looks like a billet of Damascus, which if you melt down Damascus like they do later, it loses that structural integrity, because the reason it's wavy is because you took different types of steel, stacked them, then smashed them flat after you heated them up, and then folded them, smashed them, folded them, and smashed them again. And that gives it strength and gives it different properties. And if you melt it all down, it all just mixes together. But I guess the point is that this is super nice steel, and it's supposed to have a really good look to it. It has an Imperial stamp, like they stole it from Mandalore. And so he really wants that. So he takes this bounty, and he takes the ingot back to his clan.
Is that like a down payment?
Yeah, that's the down payment. And he says he has a bunch more of it for him. And so basically, you learn a little bit more about the Mandalorians and that they really like revere their armor, and it's used to sponsor like foundlings, which is like orphans. And the Mandalorian is a foundling, right?
Yeah, she said that it was going to sponsor a bunch of stuff.
A bunch of foundlings, yeah. So I'm guessing that when they find them, that's how they get their first armor.
They train them to be cold-blooded killers for money.
Yep, and good for them. It's important in that universe to have a skill set. So yeah, he gets a new pauldron, which is a shoulder armor bit, and it looks great. Like his helmet looks like that, and now his shoulder armor looks like that. And I'm guessing like as the series goes on, he's going to get more of it.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, so Mandalorian armor is like super like nice. Apparently, takes blaster bolts all the time. So is it still in the same first episode? Where this is it, where
he goes to the planet.
He goes to the planet. So he goes to the planet at the behest of the Imperial, and he almost gets murdered by what looks like a tadpole with legs and a mouth.
Yeah.
Like, that sneaks up on him pretty fast.
I know.
You'd think, like, a trained, like, warrior whose religion is weapons would get, like, a little more heads up when it's like a 800-pound two-legged creature's running up on him.
It's almost the size of, like, a rhinoceros, almost.
Seriously, it's huge, and for some reason he doesn't spot it.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, it almost kills him, and he manages to subdue it with the help of what's that?
Local guy.
A local guy's name who when he's done talking, he'll just say, "I have spoken," which it's going to be a meme for a while now.
I have spoken.
It's like people will say like, "I like spaghetti this way. I have spoken." It's the new change my mind, I think.
That's all I got to say about that, and I'm not going back on my word.
I have spoken. So yeah, he this guy, you find out later, he wants to like get this gang off this planet because they're guarding this bounty. And he manages to like tame this beast with the help of the new guy, which is voiced by Nick Nolte, I think.
I don't know.
I think it's Nick Nolte, yeah.
Really?
Anthony was talking about. Fans of the show may know him as Polybius.
Yeah. In Dynamo.
So he tames the beast because he's a Mandalorian. He's badass.
Yeah, he was saying that, Mandalorian, he said that he didn't know how to ride one of those. And then the guy had to remind him, he's like, oh, didn't you guys ride these guys all the time?
Well, they rode something else that's probably more like the equivalent of a dragon, I'm
so
guessing.
He's like a millennial.
He can shift.
Mandalorian.
He doesn't know how to do a work.
He doesn't know how to do things the old ways.
No, he does not.
But that's the cool scene because there's a very slight twinge of like kind of metaphysical, kind of finding your balance and finding, Yeah,
because he does like kind of come up on him.
Yeah,
with his hands up. He's like, whoa.
Yeah, it's kind of. It's not the Force, but it's kind of like the same philosophical
being in tune
kind of thing of being in tune with an animal and like, getting to know it and then learning to ride it and stuff.
This incredibly hideous beast with dinner plate size eyes and a mouth that's half its body.
So yeah, this Mandalorian has gone almost like on a Luke Skywalker hero's journey almost.
A little bit, but he's still a little too badass. He's a little too Han Solo for that.
He's a little too Han Solo, but like, I feel like he's opening up.
Yeah.
Throughout the show.
Yeah, and so they ride to the camp because the guy voiced by Nick Nolte wants these guys off his planet, and so he's like looking down a telescope at this like old west looking town, and it looks awesome. And then one of those bounty hunting droids, you've probably seen, they have like a cylindrical head.
It looks exactly like a Pueblo, and like a Western.
It does,
and it looks like a Mexican Pueblo.
It absolutely, and this goes back to that Western in space. It's like you're gonna have a shootout in this town. And they have a shootout because
and those aliens are definitely the Mexicans.
Yeah,
they always.
At least they don't give them an insulting accent. Like, Misa, do this.
They didn't sound like Mexicans.
Hang on, hunting.
What are you looking for?
I'm looking up the name of that droid.
Oh, that droid. That droid's almost like a steampunk looking guy.
It looks, yeah.
He looks like he's made of like pipes. And
stuff. Okay, it's an IG-88. So yeah, IG-88 shows up and is like going after the same bounty, and the Mandalorian doesn't know this. So it's like there's drama here. This is going to be like his thing. Mm-hmm. So this droid is like all like, I'm just going to walk straight in and start shooting people, and it's hilarious because he's got like this sweet dual like pistol style.
Yeah. But
it's like super like stiff and rigid.
Yeah, it's pretty. His waist does like a 360.
He's got eyes all around him.
His head does 360.
I like he just keeps like saying, "Well, it looks like it's looking kind of bad. Time to self-destruct." Like, don't fucking self-destruct.
Yeah, he's a very suicidal robot.
So yeah, it's like if you didn't care about your life, you'd just say, "Shit's going bad. I'm programmed to self-destruct now." Like, no.
I'm standing right next to you.
And it is a really fun shootout because it's like they're doing that thing where he's shooting from the hip at people at like a roof across the street.
Yeah, they shoot from the hip a lot in that.
In Star Wars, again, it's another Western thing where they don't need to aim. Aiming is for idiots.
Yeah, and there's a thing where there's people like on like coming out of windows out of the buildings
Right.
and standing on top of this like
and
the
they
roof
they
of
turn
buildings.
they turn around like a complete 360, but they somehow knew they were coming out of a window behind them 100 yards back,
Yeah, and you see a lot of people getting shot out of windows and falling down.
falling out of the window.
Because that's like a nice Western
that's
trope.
super stressful. Yeah, I love that. So they clear out everyone.
Because it wouldn't look as cool if like he got shot and he went back into
Fall-
the
yeah,
building.
exactly.
You know? He has to fall out of the window.
Yeah, they probably also didn't like build the inside of the sets, so
Yeah.
they couldn't show him like falling back into the room.
Oh, okay.
Maybe. I mean, these things have like a $200 million or a $20 million budget per episode.
Well, I'm pretty sure those guys had. Well, maybe not.
Maybe not. They had one interior, and that's where they find their bounty.
Mm-hmm.
So like they walk in after they clear out the place with the help of a floating turret.
Were you guessing what the bounty was? Did you have any idea what it was going to be?
I had no clue.
Okay.
So I knew it was going to have some drama because
Mm-hmm.
you don't have like a mysterious bounty with not enough information, and everything just turns out all right. Yeah, it just turns out it's just another guy. It's just here he is. So where's my money? Oh, here it is. All right, and roll credits. No, it's going to be something like you have to go like, oh shit, now I have to deal with this, and it is because spoiler alert now, in case you don't know, this is a spoiler cast.
It's kind of a meme now.
Probably, but
Baby Yoda.
it's Baby Yoda. And IG-88 is just going to shoot the thing in cold blood. It's like,
Oh, there it is.
it's just, no. He keeps like, no, wait, we'll take it in alive. Like, nope, the thing says we have to murder the baby. And I love it because I knew he was going to shoot the robot.
Yeah.
But anyone who hasn't seen like a movie before will be fooled for a second. Because they show like him that dramatic thing where it's like they just show his face and a bolt blast next to him.
Yeah.
And it just turns out he like shot like without looking through the robot's head.
And even really moving his body, he just like lifted his arm up.
Yeah, exactly.
Shot.
Like-
He didn't move his like body very much.
Yeah, not at all. He's just a flash. It's like you couldn't tell, and it's like you can tell that was coming, but it was still fun.
Yeah.
Listen, you spend that much time firing from the hip, you don't need to aim at all.
Yeah. But it's not actually Baby Yoda. It's like the same race as
Same
Yoda.
race, yeah. And we're learning that they're all force sensitive apparently.
Oh, they are.
Well, because this one was like out of
Okay.
our sample group of everyone that's been on screen, they've all been high level force. So out of a sample size of 3 of potentially billions.
Yeah. The music was really awesome, though.
Oh, it's great.
When it cut to the end and it was playing the theme song. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like, your basic Star Wars stuff. It sounded like sci-fi adventure kind of fantasy.
It was a feel alike.
But then it was very Western.
Yeah.
It had the whoa, whoa, kind of
Yeah,
the Western feel to it.
Like I like the part where when he's walking through like that town to his next to get that bounty, he sees like that lizard that that the Jabba the Hutt had, but it's being barbecued in front of one of its friends, and they're smart enough to see what's going on. Yeah. That is like horrific.
Yeah, they don't think that's funny, do they?
No, they do not. Ooh, ah, oh,
Always laughing at stuff.
yeah, seriously. I like to think that's the same one.
Yeah, that's the same guy.
Say, it's not funny now, right? Yeah, you laughed at Luke Skywalker getting like dropped into a pit. How do you like me now, bitch?
I know. When the Empire falls, then it just goes to chaos.
Seriously.
Unless that town was just always like that.
I think that's an Outer Rim town, so that's always going to be rough.
Yeah.
Because in canon, the New Republic's taking over. So that's just the Outer Rim's always going to be the Outer Rim. It's just it's always lawless. So but really the cool thing is like these Imperials, like these stormtroopers that guy has, are still wearing stormtrooper armor, but it's like you can see like orange like build up and shit. Like they haven't like taken care of it at all.
Yeah.
It's like, you'd think they just like do like the regular like rogues thing and just put on like a cool vest. Mm-hmm. But nope, you have to know for sure these guys used to be stormtroopers.
Yeah, I know.
They couldn't just say, "Hey, listen, we're 4 stormtroopers. We got you outnumbered."
Well, maybe it's like a thing where like, hey, the armor worked before. Just keep wearing the armor. It's
It
dirty.
did not work. That's the other thing. It's like you think, oh, finally we don't have to wear the armor that was taken out by fucking Ewoks.
Yeah.
Like an Ewok with a stick killed my buddy last year, or like 4 years ago.
Yeah, maybe we should get some new armor.
Or maybe just
It's like,
wear
why
a
are you giving him that steel? Give that to us.
Yeah, seriously, what the fuck, man? We could be the best enforcers in the galaxy.
They're like, no, you guys must. Stormtroopers have to have a mild amount of suck to them.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you have to not be able to hit anything, and your armor has to literally be made out of PVC.
It looked like it was made of PVC.
It always is. Like even the high quality like Stormtrooper, the 501st,
Yeah.
all their armor's made out of PVC, and it looks exactly right. It's like, listen, we haven't bathed in months. Just give us new clothes. Like, nope, wear the armor.
Yeah, they weren't. And you think they would be kind of more like they're just hanging out with themselves.
Exactly. There's no empire.
Like you think their helmets would be off. You know, they'd be
Right.
relaxing. There's no one to. Maybe they knew the Mandalorian was coming.
Yeah,
They're like, put your helmets on.
Go. We have to make a good impression. All right, there's 5 of us and 1 of you. It's like, I like those odds. That was pretty badass. that was a super Western, like Clint Eastwood thing to say. Like, I like those odds.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
man.
what about do you want to go into the second episode, or are we just talking about?
Let's go into the second episode a little bit. Now he's dealing with the Yoda baby. He decided not to kill.
Yeah.
And now more like at first he has some lizard bounty hunters come after him.
Yeah.
Like coming after the Yoda baby, and so he realizes, oh, this guy gave like this bounty to a lot of people, and he's realizing this is going to be a massive pain. He gets injured, and you're starting to see like this Yoda baby like it's 30 years old, but a baby.
It was 50.
Oh, 50, sorry.
Yeah.
And it's trying to touch him to heal him. You kind of figure that's what it's doing.
Yeah.
And he keeps putting it back in its like floating stroller. It's like,
He thinks he's just getting out. It's like, we're just fucking around.
He's oddly an okay caretaker.
Yeah. Go back in your floaty stroller.
It's great because it follows you around.
Yeah.
Like he gets back to his ship and it's being stripped by Jawas.
Yeah. I wonder if he still had like any of the. He had a bunch of those carbonite guys in there. I wonder if the Jawas took the carbonite.
I know
guys.
he sold all those in the first episode. Remember, he turned those in.
He turned on all the carbonite guys.
Yeah, he did all of them. Well, I like to think so. They didn't show him like I'm holding one of them. I like the blue skin guy was a personal thing. I like blue skin guys, so it's just for me.
I want his glands.
His glands. I hear you can get a high price for those.
Maybe people eat the glands.
It looks like, right, because they were talking about the sweet juice from his gland. Oh, God, that's so gross. So he vaporizes a bunch of Jawas, and they make off with the parts of his ship.
It's a very PG way to kill them. They like vaporize into sparks.
And their clothes, like, flop down. It was like the Rapture, basically.
He raptured them.
Rapture with his gun.
I mean, that's a pretty impressive gun that can do that.
That was it was a good sniper rifle. He tries to, like, scale the side in a pretty good action scene, but they stun him when he gets up to the top.
Yeah, and he takes a big bump from the top. And,
he from the top rope.
Yeah.
Like that would kill a normal man.
Yeah.
So the guy who was voiced by I forgot his name.
Nick Nolte.
Nick Nolte. He like brokers a meeting, and he says like he find through negotiations he can't just get his stuff back because they stole it fair and square. He has to go get this like one-horned rhino's like egg.
Yeah.
And
so he has to buy his own shit back.
Oh, it's so fucked up. But that's the Outer Rim again. But the thing I love is like they sound like a bunch of perverts when they're talking about this egg. It's like, oh, Utini. And it's like,
and then they start chanting it.
They really do.
Egg.
But it's in a different language.
It's Utini, right?
Or something like that. And it just feels kind of pervy.
I don't know. I thought the egg was I thought they were talking about the stroller thingy.
Yeah, well, they wanted that at first, and they're like, you're not getting that. And so, okay, what else is there? It's like, okay, we want this thing. And so it's guarded by this giant, like, mud horn. It's a rhino with fur, basically.
So he has to crawl into this cave. The opening looks suspiciously like an anus.
Like another anus. Like Disney's continuing its theme of having kind of risque stuff hidden in there. It looks like kind of a gaping butthole. Yeah.
It does.
And they
didn't even make it kind of asymmetrical. It was like perfectly round.
With the lines going inwards.
Radiating out from the center.
Yep. But he gets his ass knocked out of there. And like he's like trying to bullfight this thing with a muddy gun that doesn't work, which I really like that. Like the concept like this gun doesn't work once you get mud in it.
Yeah.
And through almost dying, he's like down to like his like boot knife. And he's like about to just say, okay, well, you're going to impale your nose on this and murder me. And then you find out that Baby Yoda has like the Force power, and like levitates it and lets the Mandalorian stab it in the throat, like with the equivalent of like a toothpick, right?
Yeah,
and it dies instantly.
Yeah, the Mandalorian. I mean, that thing had to have thick skin. It had hair, skin. It looked like the knife was probably the same length of the thickness of the thing's skin.
Yeah, it's like.
So what kind of arteries did it like hit? Like what kind of?
It's a Mandalorian knife. It's a bitchin' knife.
How did it go deep enough to like hit a vital artery?
No, it did not. Because really, even if you hit an artery, you have like 15 minutes of bleeding.
And how does he know this monster that he's never seen before? It's like, how does he know where the pressure point is?
Again, he's the Mandalorian. So yeah, he kills it suspiciously quickly. Like he could have just like thrown it's like a knife in like movies and video games where you throw it.
Yeah.
And if you stick it, you're just anywhere in the chest or neck, you just die immediately.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if you stabbed it in the eye or something, or like in the nose, some weird kind of weak spot. But
Nope.
he just stabbed it kind of like
in the neck,
shoulder neck area,
and it just drops.
Yeah.
But this is where you learn that the cute little thing with big eyes and is super adorable. Like I love that Baby Yoda has the Force power, like pretty strong too.
Yeah.
Like Luke had problems like lifting a rock at first.
Uh-huh.
But this thing is like just moving around a giant like 4-ton monster.
He's holding it up there for about like 10 seconds.
Oh, yeah. And so basically they get it to the Jawa, the egg to the Jawa. It's a furry egg. It looks gross.
Yeah.
And they hack it with like this little cookery and just start eating the goop right out of it.
They didn't even
cook it,
build a fire or anything,
nothing.
and like get together and be like, hey, we're all having egg today.
You're having an omelet. It's like, no, it's like we're having egg goo.
Just stick your hand in there and start
You
looking.
have a handful of goo. And again, Anthony was like, it's like a Yogi, not Yogi Bear, Winnie the Pooh with a jar of honey. Just stick hand in, just lick the hand.
Or like those Cadbury bunny eggs.
Oh yeah, like those, yeah.
Except for Jawas.
Yeah, so basically the next scene is like them walking away with a floating cart full of his own ship that he had to buy back. And
this is where we find the mechanic skills of the Mandalorian.
And the more of, because the Mandalorian says this is going to take days, and then like Nick Nolte alien is like, or he could help, and it's like over the course of one night, basically.
I mean, imagine if your car got stripped down of many
and then you
got
all your parts back.
Yeah, like how are you gonna?
If you and me, like if you were an ace mechanic, it would take us more than an afternoon to put my car back together.
I guess apparently spaceships in the Star Wars universe are really easy to put together.
It's like, listen, space travel's gotten to the point where it's like one bounty hunter can fly a spaceship.
Yeah, it's just
with a carbon freezing thing designed to like put a living being of different species in perfect stasis.
I don't know, if you think about all the aspects of like a spaceship, the controls and like the
faster than light engine. There's
like the
sublight engines, faster than light, plumbing, life support. Was it a navigation?
Probably gravity, because I don't see them floating around.
Exactly, and he has to speak several languages. So
why would he have to speak several languages?
Well, remember he speaks like Jawanese.
Oh,
he speaks basic.
For his main job. Yeah,
for his main job. Yeah, he speaks like several. Like most people do speak several languages. Like Han Solo understood Huttese.
Yeah.
Without having to like have someone like translate.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a common skill. It's like being super genius in like the Marvel universe.
They did a funny SNL skit to go off on a little tangent.
Oh yeah,
that I have to bring up. It had Charles Barkley in it.
Oh yeah,
Charles Barkley. Well, it was like kind of like they're kind of doing a parody of the new Star Wars.
Yeah,
they had like a Rey type chick and then stuff, and then Charles Barkley was like maybe like a Jedi or something.
Oh, I remember
like
that one. Yeah.
And then they go to this bar, and there's like this conflict. There's like a Mexican standoff
and
type thing, and they're all speaking different languages, and he doesn't understand what they're saying.
Wait, you understand him? I thought he was just beeping and booping. It was great. Yeah, it's like everyone just kind of like plays it off super straight,
and everyone just talks in their own language, but understands each other.
Wait, you understand that? Like, yeah, okay. Do the thing on the time. Like, what? I don't understand. They're all shooting and shit, and he's just like,
I feel like an idiot. I don't understand what anybody's saying.
That was great. I love that bit. But yeah, like the Mandalorian flying away from another planet, it kind of closes out that second episode.
Yeah.
What I really like so far is they're kind of adding new characters, apparently at a good pace.
Mm-hmm.
The first episode was mostly him going a place, being a badass, and then walking away.
Mm-hmm.
And there's still that core element, but now they're adding more characters on, because you can only watch someone almost wordlessly be a badass for so long.
Yeah. And it's really interesting. They never show his actual face in this, and like
I think
so you can't see the
emotionality,
facial emotions. You can get it through with his voice acting skills,
and maybe his physical.
Yeah, but I've noticed in a lot of Hollywood movies they like to remove the mask every once in a while, so you can see the performance.
You remember the first Judge Dredd?
Yeah,
he wore the mask for like the first 10 minutes, and then it never came back on.
Yeah, because they want you to like.
But the better Dredd movie with Carl Urban.
Mm-hmm.
He wore the mask the whole damn time.
Carl Urban.
That doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound right.
It's not Irving.
I'm going to call him what I want.
You're thinking of like Irving Magic Johnson?
That still sounds wrong. I'm going to say Carl Urban. But he never takes off the mask, and it works because they made a good movie.
And the same for Spider-Man. They always had to create a situation
where his mask gets torn
so
and
you
then
can see him
ripped off. Yeah.
Yeah. And then even Star-Lord, every time he lands, his mask just immediately comes off.
And same with, and to the point where now, with the Iron Man suits,
yeah,
the nanotech mask immediately back.
Yeah.
And then when someone walks in the room, it comes up.
And even when he's flying around, they get you that HUD.
Oh yeah, that super dark thing. Yeah, like inside
of his helmet.
Yeah, that's a
so
pretty cool shot.
They said, "Fuck all that shit.
Let's just take his mask off every second."
No, but in the Mandalorian, they're like, "Fuck all that shit."
Yeah.
He's just gonna have his mask on the whole time.
I think it's a good choice because they're about to add a bunch of, like you saw from the trailer, they have a bunch of other characters.
I think he will take the mask off at some point.
Probably. I can't wait for them to introduce that Twi'lek chick who winks at the camera. Let me tell you, I'm a sucker for a Twi'lek chick.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The chicks with the long head tentacles.
Oh.
Yeah, Twi'leks. They're usually, the chicks are pretty hot. The dudes look hideous. Go figure.
Was she in she was in the Clone Wars.
Well, there was a Twi'lek. Twi'leks come all over the place. Like there's a Sith red one that's super hot. Like she wears like a black bikini with her red lightsaber. There's one in Rebels, who's like the girlfriend of the Jedi guy. So they're all over the place. They're an iconic species.
I'll take your word for it.
Same with the I forget the species of the Ahsoka Tano. They're kind of more ubiquitous too.
Ahsoka Tano.
She's a Togruta. I just looked it up. That's that race, and it's kind of ubiquitous too because they have a very dynamic head profile. Their hair is like a weird head thing. And she has a couple of her own books where they talk about what that's called. But
maybe we'll see all this in.
I hope we will.
The high budget Disney series.
Okay, this whole thing is coming up to like a pretty long amount of time, so I'm going to say thank you for listening to this emergency episode of the Transmit Podcast, the Super Awesome Showdown offshoot.
I'm Victor.
And I'm Spike, and thanks for tuning in.